What's up, guys? This is Astranox, bidding the god in Grim Pursuit Inferno difficulty versus the 4 Inferno bosses. So we got NicoNana, we got Sharon, we got Shadowflame-Hoyan, and finally Rengokutsu. So bidding, what kind of stats do you need on him to be able to do all 4 Inferno stages, right, in Grim Pursuit? So it seems to be around 2,500 attack, but you want to have more like around 3,000 attack on bidding. You want, what I'm saying, like the value, that is plus around 3,000 attack, plus 150 crit damage. And you want to have 100% crit rate on your bidding. It's actually very important because initially when you start a battle, you don't actually have the marked target be the main target, the boss. It's going to be an ad, let's say, because the ads have less health than the boss. So when you have like a Kloss doing an attack that hits everyone to put defense down and to put, you know, the hack-in that you're trying to build to the hack-in, you're getting the defense down, the speed down, then the ads will have less health a lot of the times, right? So what happens is that, well, the marked target for bidding from his passive is going to be not the boss that you're trying to attack, right? So that 60% crit rate is lost initially before your first round of burst damage. So you're missing out on that 60% crit rate, which if you are at 100% crit rate already, that is 90% crit damage. So it's quite a bit of damage that you're missing out on, right? But you guys know, like, the burst damage of bidding is completely ridiculous, right? I have Yelly now, and Yelly is extremely hard to build up because you need to skill her up, and it's much harder because you need perfect lattices. But bidding, easy to skill up. You can bring him all over the place. And the thing is, he's not luck based like Yelly, right? Yelly with the follow-up attack, it's luck based, but bidding, it's a guarantee that it's going to happen. And that skill 3 with the follow-up skill 1 is extremely powerful. It's almost 1,000% of damage. If you have the shell damage included in there, White Fang, that's basically 1,000% of damage. Very powerful, and he can actually land vulnerable with the skill 1, the follow-up attack on the skill 3, which preps him up for that second round of burst damage. So NicoNana was completely destroyed. You don't actually need these stat line for NicoNana. I take out NicoNana with less stat than that with Yang, right? Because you get the attack buff from Yang, you get crit rate buff, so that translates into more crit damage for bidding. So I enjoy that, but it's not 100% reliable, right? The issue with running like a burst team with bidding is that a lot of time, you know, if your gear is not quite up there, if you're not over gearing the content, then like that 10% to actually miss out on landing your debuff, even though you have like, you know, 500% effect accuracy, let's say, there's always a 10% chance that you're gonna miss your debuffs. Even if you're supposed to have a 100% chance, there's that 10% chance. If you play Epic 7, that nightmarish 15% innate resist, you know, that's the problem. And this game actually takes out, you know, 10% of the cost of the stage in stamina will be reduced, right? So you're gonna lose like 1 stamina when you fail, so it can be quite annoying, right? So Kloss is ran on Codex of Magic because, and here for Cachi the Guard, you want to run him on Codex of Magic as well, because you want to have a higher uptime on that immunity buff for 2 turns, and you want to stack him up with 183% effect accuracy or 213% effect accuracy if you don't have the skill 3 maxed out. If you only have like 3 skill ups into the skill 3, you're missing out on the final one, then you're gonna need more effect accuracy on him, so you can get that 2-turn immunity, which is so good for Sharon as well as other pieces of content. I mean, Cachi the Guard it's just amazing. You can have your team so much more tanky with defense buff, and you're gonna be able to, you know, take much less damage, stabilize, have some healing in other pieces of content. Like, he can be used in many places, so definitely an amazing animus to invest into. But like, every team runs bidding plus Lily. If you don't have Lily, you're gonna want to run something like Beyond Tin, right? That's attack buff, crit damage buff for Diting. And the skill 2, if you have, I believe, 2 skill ups into it, she's going to be able to reset the skill 3 of Diting and make his shell White Fang go again. So you're going to get another round of, you know, around 1000% of damage multiplier from Diting, which will allow you to burst down the target. So you could be using like Beyontin plus Cachi, the rare, you know, animus. You're gonna be able to push 100% turn meter and get attack buff and get a -1 turn cooldown on your skills and on your animus. You can run Dorothy the Wisher with, you know, Cachi or Beyontin. You're gonna be able to fully get 100% turn meter with her skill 2, right? But you need to have 100% crit rate on her. You're gonna be able to, you know, push Diting multiple times, and it will make him, you know, able to just deal a ton of burst damage, right? Beyontin's really good because you're just getting a full turn when she uses skill 2, as well as resetting his skill 3 and his shell, so you can guarantee that extra burst of 1000% damage multiplier. Now Diting, you know, like plus 3000, around plus 3000 attack seems solid, plus 150% crit damage, 100% crit rate, and speed, I mean, it's gonna be like around 200, right? You're gonna be able to do like crazy burst damage, especially if you have Lily, right? Especially if you have Kloss. Instead of Kloss, you could run Dinah. Instead of Lily, like I've talked about, like Beyontin, Cachi, Dorothy, the Wisher. Like you have multiple ways to go about it. The Codex of Magic is a big thing on Kloss. Also, the Silence Animus is extremely good for Shadowflame-Hoyan. You gonna want to disable the passive of the ads. The Forgetfulness allows you to just you're not gonna take damage from the counter attack of the ads if their passive are disabled because of the Forgetfulness. So that's very nice, and it allows you to take out Shadowflame-Hoyan without needing, you know, some sustain, some healing. So that's very, very good. Artisan can be used on Lily, right? You can put Artisan, I mean, Codex of Magic is going to be used on Kloss. Maybe you can have Artisan on Cachi the Guard, but really getting that 2 rounds of immunity is pretty big. So that's basically like 4 turns of debuff immunity, and versus Sharon, that allows you to just like not receive all the damage over time and not having, you know, her detonating all the damage over time, which will wipe out your team. So yeah, Shadowflame-Hoyan, pretty simple. If you have Silence, it's like a lot of damage that you're avoiding to receive. Lily, I mean, Artisan is nice because that is, you know, a barrier for herself and whoever has the least amount of health on your team. So definitely amazing. Artisan can be cheese. You can use 2, 3, even 4 on your team. I mean, you can have 5 animus with Artisan because whoever's carrying it is getting that barrier, as well as whoever on the team doesn't have has the lowest amount of health. So that's very good for survivability increase, and Artisan actually gives you a, you know, 700 defense at the start of the battle for like 2 turns, which will affect the strength of the barrier from Artisan itself. And you can roll defense percentage on the first passive right on it. So that will allow you to just have a thicker barrier. And then of course you might want to have defense percentage main stat on some of the shell on your supports on the right side if you don't have to load up on effect accuracy. So you're going to be able to just like have very thick barriers being applied with the Artisan, and it will allow you to do a lot of content that you otherwise could not do. So definitely super powerful. Valerian, easy to gear, just stack a bunch of health on her. It's pretty much whatever. You can definitely have an Artisan on her. You can stack a bit of defense on her, but really having as much health as possible is very good. And her haze buff that she puts up as soon as the battle starts when her skill 3 is maxed out will allow you to get attack buff, you know, guarantee if you don't have it, followed with a defense buff. So that's very nice, that's reliable, and you can use that to your advantage to, you know, burst down whoever you're attacking. So that's very, very powerful. And really, like, Kloss makes it very simple with Lily, but really it's about hitting those stat line on Diting. So you're gonna have to farm either like some Aurora for momentum, right? For Fury, or Doki Doki for some Harvest. But Termaton is where you're gonna get the majority of the pieces, because you can get Fury Edge, you can get Keen Eye, and you can get as well as Onslaught. So yeah, Termaton, if you can do some Aurora, you're gonna be able to get that OP momentum set. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear what you guys think about these teams in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe. That's gonna be it for this one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all yeah do. Peace out for now.